like I said, hopefully you've had a good day so far. If any of you came to my talk last time, hopefully it was helpful. This one now is more a chance for you to find out about the individual universities. What I would recommend you do is spend a bit of time with us, ask questions, then go and visit Exeter and Bath as well, just so you can get a good flavour of the different universities. I've got Morgan, who's joined me as well, who's going to help out from a student point of view. I'm going to very quickly, in about 5 minutes max, run through a couple of slides I've got, and then I'm going to talk you through, give you a chance to ask any questions. In the chat, ask any questions you want about Cardiff. If there's any student-related ones, then Morgan can help out as well. Ask us anything you want, and we can hopefully between us answer it. But just as a heads up about Cardiff as a university, we are part of the Russell Group, who are 24 universities in the UK who are committed to academic excellence in teaching and research. We were in the most recent research excellence framework. We ranked 5th in the UK for the quality of our research, so we're known as quite a research intensive university. Over £500 million in research contract with 2 Nobel Prize winners on our books as well. The location is one of the things that I think helps Cardiff stand out most. I'm going to show you a map image of the campus shortly, just so you'll see how close it is and how when students say it's a really easy place to settle into, you'll hopefully get a good idea of that. We're a very international and diverse university with over 28,000 students from over 100 countries all over the world. We've got over 300 different degree programs, so we cover pretty much most courses you can think of. The only courses we don't really offer at the moment are drama, art and design, any primary school teaching, or any sports courses. For everything else, we like to think we cover pretty much all others. We've got very high student satisfaction, and also employability rates are very high. 97% of our students from the year 2018 were in employment or further training within 15 months of graduating. So being a Russell Group and being a capital city university, that helps with employment as well. The university is broken up into 3 different colleges, which then has all the different courses within it. So you've got the College of Arts, Humanities and Social Sciences, which has all your kind of English, history, politics, modern languages, social sciences types of courses. The College of Biomedical and Life Sciences, including medicine, healthcare and psychology, among others. And then Morgan's College of Physical Sciences and Engineering, which has, of course, lots of engineering courses, physics, maths, computer science, and again, some others as well. So that's how it's broken down. And that's where the over 300 courses are spread across the university. And just to finish from me, before I move on to hopefully some questions, if you've got any, this is what Cardiff looks like. Some of you may be familiar with Cardiff. Some of you may have visited Cardiff before. And if you have, you'll know that it's actually quite a small, compact city centre. The city centre you can see at the bottom of the map in a kind of brown area. The red box just above that is kind of the centre of the university. So it's Catay's campus, where I would say 95% of our courses are actually taught. So you can see already it's just down the road from the city centre. Morgan's department is just to the right-hand side of the city centre, where engineering is taught, which is across the road, basically. And that you're in the city centre of the capital city. So it's an ideal location for students to settle into, to know that everything they need is on their doorstep and within a very close distance as well. If you go to the top of the map, you've got the kind of the blue box. That's the Heath Park campus, where we teach medicine and dentistry. And also we have things like physiotherapy and a few other healthcare sciences as well. That on a bus is about 10 minutes from each campus, and to walk, you're looking at around about 25 minutes to get from one campus to the next. You can see big green park areas. You've actually got the most green space per person for any large UK city. And then accommodation wise, these purple clustered kind of scattered around the map. Talabont, which is a very popular student village, is in the top left hand corner just above the big green park area. That's where we have around about 2,500 first year students every year, who again can walk to their lectures in Heath Park or the Catay's campus in about 10-15 minutes maximum. So knowing everything's on your doorstep makes it easy to settle into, but also a very affordable place to live as well. And just last thing from me, sorry, go on, Morgan.
Can I just say, I went to Gordon Hall as my accommodation. So if anyone is specifically looking at Gordon Hall, I can help answer questions about that.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's good to ask and find out about accommodation, because that's your home for the whole first year, and Morgan can tell you more. But I remember when I was in uni, settling in is such a big part of it, and knowing you're somewhere comfortable and somewhere close to your lectures, close to the city centre, somewhere you're going to enjoy living, makes such a big difference on your time there at university. So accommodation is one thing to definitely ask questions about today, and also find out more about the virtual open days, which leads me nicely into our next 2 virtual open days. We've got one a week today on Saturday the 24th of October, and then one on Wednesday the 18th of November. There's no obligation to sign up to like any 4 hours or anything like that. You can come for 2 minutes, ask a question, then go, or you can come and stay for the whole 4 hours. It's a good chance to have a live chat with students and academics, and also find out more as well. That's all I'll say. I don't want to be too salesy with that. So what I'm going to do now is, hopefully, if you do have any questions, please feel free to ask. It looks like there's none at the moment, which it's probably just because you're bored of me talking. If I ask some questions to Morgan, then sorry to put you on the spot, Morgan, but what would you say really stood out about Cardiff when you first moved in?
That's a difficult question because I'm actually from Cardiff.
Oh, cool.
So it's definitely that whole thing of I stayed close to home, which I really liked, but I moved out. And I really liked, I'm not sure about other schools, but for at least the School of Engineering and the Queen's buildings, you have like the engineers, the computer scientists, and the physicists, all basically sharing a series of buildings that are all intertwined. And their thought process was, when you go out into the real world, into the working world, these are the 3 disciplines that tie in very, very closely with one another. So it was nice that they're already thinking about later on when you graduate, you're going to be with these sorts of people. So you're not just stuck into your own course, you mix with everybody from all different courses. Yeah,
I completely agree. And I'm the same as you. I'm from Cardiff originally, and I moved about 10 minutes down the road. So we both had the kind of benefit of knowing what Cardiff was like as a city, which did probably help us both, I would suggest, settle in and know the surroundings. But it's just, it's one of those cities where there's a lot going on, but knowing that there's a lot going on down the road is kind of doubly helpful, I would say, because you're not having to get on a bus or a train. And that's why we're consistently rated one of the most affordable cities in the UK for students, because you can walk everywhere if you want to. We've also got these next bikes in Cardiff, which are a bit like the Boris bikes in London, where you get half an hour free. There's loads of little next bike stations around the city centre, and then every half hour after the first free one is 50p. So riding a bike is very close.
Sorry.
No, go on, carry on.
I'd also just like to say that not having a specific campus university was a huge drawing point to you, because I personally, just me, didn't like the idea of you're all on campus and then you move off campus. So because we're more spread out throughout the city, you can still find accommodation your 2nd, 3rd, 4th year that's 5 minutes from the university. And I liked being so close to the city centre. That was a huge selling point for me.
Yeah, I totally agree. Which is a good point. One of the questions I had in my first talk, which you might be able to help with, Morgan, was being in more of a city university. Did you find that difficult to make friends because you're a bit more spread out?
Honestly, I'd argue the opposite. Personally, I found it easier to make friends because there was more places to go. So I know you can always have societies, but because you're so close to the city centre, you could find people who enjoyed doing the same things as you in the city centre. So you didn't have to just meet people through university channels.
Yeah, I completely agree. That's exactly what I found when I was here as well. And like I said earlier on in my first talk, you'll have course mates who are there with the same sort of academic interest as you. If you join a society, they've got the same personal interest as you. If you join a sports team, you've got the same sporting interest. So you've got those kind of different clusters of friends already who have got that initial same interest as you. And then in your first year, when you live in your accommodation, like Morgan did in Gordon Hall and like I did in Talabon, you're kind of thrown into this thing with new people you've never met before who will become some of your best friends. And the good thing about that is that everyone's in the same boat. It can be quite daunting moving out for the first time, even though in our cases it was 10 minutes down the road sort of thing. But it still is a scary experience. And knowing that you're with people who are going through the exact same emotions, who are moving out most likely for the first time, it helps it because you've got that peer support of people who know how you feel, know what you're going through, know what it's taken for you to get there as well. So it makes it a bit easier as well, I would say. Morgan, you mentioned in the student Q&A a bit about Job Shop.
Mhm.
Do you want to tell us a bit more about your experience with Job Shop and if you'd encourage students to get involved in that sort of thing?
Oh, I couldn't encourage it more, honestly. I absolutely love Job Shop. I think it's a fantastic thing. It's a very easy thing where you have to get a card with them, or not really a card, but it's basically they double check that you don't have any like visa things where you can only work a set number of hours. So, but that takes 5 minutes. It's nothing. And then after that, you're signed up for the rest of the year, and you can basically just get employment whenever you want. So they do offer sometimes like after graduation sort of jobs, but a lot of it is things like someone needs help in a bar this weekend, or this shop, or helping out on an open day, or helping out in a university. So it's a really great to just meet other people. I helped 2 years ago preparing Talabont for the new students to move in. So I basically was one of those people that went in and prepped all the rooms. And that was amazing because it was 3 or 4 days and it was just something to do. And I met one of my closest friends doing it.
We've had a question, Morgan, which is, I'm happy with this question personally. Is the food good in Cardiff?
Yes, especially because Cardiff is quite a diverse city in that sense.
Yeah.
You have so many different types of food. So no matter what you like, there is something for everyone.
Yeah, I completely agree. And the other good thing about Cardiff is you've got a mixture of the big sort of chains. We've got, I think in the city centre, we've got 2 or 3 Nando's, for example. We've got Wagamamas, we've got everything you can think of. But then there's also loads of small independent places in the city centre and also the surrounding areas. So most students in years 2 and 3 will live in either Roath or Cathays, for example, which are just above and to the right of the red box on the screen. And in those places, you've got loads of independent places to eat, little independent bars as well. So it is nice that you've got the big chains that you know you're going to get good food at, but also there's all these different amazing places you can go and find them. In the city centre, there's the St David's Arcade, which is one of the biggest shopping experiences outside London. There's also loads of like Edwardian and Victorian arcades as well, all of which a bit like a labyrinth. There's loads of hidden little places to eat, which again is a really nice part of Cardiff, I think. So definitely would say the food is good, too good in lots of cases for me.
That's just what I was about to say, is if you do come to Cardiff, the city centre is incredible and it's so easy to get wrapped up in it, but don't just stay in the city centre. Look at Roath, the Cathays and the arcades, because there are so many independent places that are just brilliant.
Yeah, completely agree. Morgan, thinking back to when you were looking at universities, is there any sort of advice you'd give students in what they should be thinking about and looking for if they're not sure at the moment?
I am a big believer in gut instinct, which is it's quite difficult to do nowadays, seeing as you can't actually go to a lot of universities. But I would say go to as many open days as you can, and if you feel good about an open day, that's great. And if you don't, listen to that gut instinct that's saying maybe it's not for me. Just try everything. Don't think, oh, I must go to one of these 3 unis. Look at as many as you can.
Yeah, I completely agree. And like I was saying in my first talk, for anyone who was there, it's things like league tables are useful and you can use it as a guide, but the most important thing is how do you feel about that course when you read the course structure and the course description. Say, for example, you're on the Cardiff website and you were looking at psychology. When you're looking at that, look at the different modules they offer, look at the different chances to get involved in research, because that is so much more valuable to you than just seeing where it's placed in a league table. You're the one studying the course, so you've got to make sure you're choosing something you want to learn about. I did English language, for example. I remember when I was looking a long time ago now, what it really stood out was the range of modules, because most I was looking at were the exact sort of things I actually liked and enjoyed. So for me, I knew it was going to be a course I was going to want to learn more about. So it may take some of you a bit of time. Some of you may be at this day to day knowing what you want to do already. Others probably haven't got a clue, which is completely fine. You know, there's no need to kind of get stressed about it or panic, because everyone will find a course. It takes a bit longer, but like Morgan said, follow your gut. And when you do find that course, when you do read it in a prospectus or online or find out about it at a virtual open day, it will stand out and you will get that feeling of oh, that sounds really exciting actually. And that is so important. And that's why I think some students who come to Cardiff fall in love with the place, because they've managed to marry up that perfect course with them, with this really small, compact city centre where there's always a lot going on. It's kind of the perfect blend, really, because although it's not a big city centre, when you add in us, ourselves at Cardiff Uni, Cardiff Metropolitan up the road, and also one of the departments of USW, University of South Wales, we're actually one of the largest cities in the UK for student population. So you can't really walk 20 metres down the city centre without seeing a student from Cardiff or Cardiff Met. So it's a really nice student-friendly atmosphere. It's very vibrant because of that as well. One thing we've got, which kind of adds to the student experience, is the Welsh varsity. So Welsh varsity, I can see Morgan smiling, because it's one of the days that students enjoy more than any, because Cardiff and Swansea traditionally are seen as rivals. So Cardiff Uni and Swansea Uni compete against each other in 45 sports on one day of the year. Have you got any experience, Morgan, of Welsh varsity at all?
I've never been personally, but the atmosphere is electric, especially when it's being held in Cardiff, because I believe they switch off every year, don't they?
Yeah.
So you know when it's being held in Cardiff, because there's just such a buzz in the air, and the week building up to it is just, it's like the best party you've ever been to, in the sense of everyone is just so excited. It's an amazing atmosphere to be in.
Yeah, definitely. It is, like, the week running up to it, like Morgan said, you can't get away from the fact that varsity's coming, because there's all these advertising. There's big double-decker buses with Go Cardiff written all over them, and people walking down the street covered in face paint and stuff. And it's a really fun, but also competitive and almost tribal thing to get involved in, because students who come to Cardiff fall in love with Cardiff, and they want nothing more than Cardiff to beat Swansea in the Welsh varsity. So it's an amazing thing to get involved in. You don't need to play sport to kind of get involved. Thousands of students, when it's held in Swansea, will travel to Swansea for the day to support Cardiff, and then vice versa when it's held in Cardiff. Thousands of our students will be there alongside thousands more from Swansea. So it's a really fun thing to get involved in from a taking part point of view, but also just spectating as well. It's also Cardiff. I'm not for 1 second saying it's all about sport, but what's good about Cardiff is, with the Principality Stadium being in the middle of the city centre, when things like Six Nations comes into town, so the rugby tournament, the atmosphere goes through the whole city centre. And because the university is on the doorstep of the city centre, it really kind of bleeds through the whole kind of student atmosphere. And it's an amazing thing to get involved in, especially Wales versus England when it's held in Cardiff. And I've been at plenty of sporting occasions over my life, but that is by far the most electric and atmospheric event I've ever been to. So being in that environment, even just for a couple of times a year, students love Cardiff because of that sort of reason as well.
It's a very friendly. It's a very friendly atmosphere, though. It's not an aggressive kind of excitement. It's like you're looking forward to something kind of excitement. So it's a really, really fun place to be.
Yeah, definitely. And it's just, Morgan and I could sit here for hours and talk about Cardiff as a city and why we love it and why. And I think it probably is testament to Cardiff that we both stayed. It would have been quite easy to go away. And I did. I know personally, I went to about 4 or 5 open days, but none of them, like Morgan said, gave me that gut instinct. I had initially ruled out Cardiff, thinking I should try somewhere new.
Same.
But then we both went to the open day and thought, you know what, it's a Russell Group University. I know the area. I know I'm going to have a good time. I know there's going to be lots to do there. It's an amazing university. So why would we force ourselves to move away, really? And I often get asked by people, do you regret not moving away? Do you think you should have? And I always answer, no, of course not, because I had 3 of the best years of my life when I was in uni, and Morgan's in those at the moment. And I got 2 sister-in-laws going through the process now at university, and I say to them, you've got 3 of the best years of your life coming up now. Make the most of it, and being somewhere like Cardiff is very easy to make the most of it, because there's always stuff going on, and there's always stuff to do there. We've got about 2 or 3 minutes more, so I won't take too much more of your time up. Hopefully we've been able to give you a bit of a flavour about what Cardiff can offer you. Like I said, we could be here for hours. With the virtual open days, what we both recommend you do is, if you do register on those, if you go on the Cardiff website, so cardiff.ac.uk, and you search open days, you can register there in 2 minutes. But on the day, there is a chance to have a live chat with students. So there'll be students studying different courses who you can have a chat with and find out more about the course, find out more about what they do from day to day, more about the student life. The Students' Union, for example, our Students' Union is ranked 3rd in the UK in the What Uni Student Choice Awards. It's got 4 floors, so it's got something for everyone, including its own nightclub, its own bar, and very, very small Starbucks as well. So there's something for everyone there. But virtual open days are your chance to find out all of this stuff and to really make sure that, when you make a decision, it's the right one. You don't want to be in a position where you're applying thinking, oh, I'm not really sure about this place, but I'll apply anyway. If you've got 5 spaces on your UCAS application, make sure you found 5 universities that you do like the look of. You're bound to have one that stands out. You're bound to have a firm choice, one that is the one you want to go to most. But being able to go to virtual open days means you're going to have more chance to choose between lots more. So if anyone is starting your research from this event today, do make the most of the time moving forward. Make sure you have spent a fair bit of time from now until the deadline day, making sure it's the right course. You don't want to apply and then think after Christmas, I'm not really sure I want to go there, because it can be a bit tricky then to go back and reject and then apply for more courses where there's going to be a smaller pool to choose from. So make sure you make the most of the time moving forward. Use our website, go on virtual open days, Bath and Exeter's websites and their virtual open days as well. Draw comparisons, find that as much as you can, ask as many questions as you can as well. And then hopefully, like Morgan said earlier, you'll find that course and find that uni where you've got that gut feeling that it is going to be the place for you. At that stage, because there's no more questions, I will leave it there. Thank you for all of you for turning up to this talk. Thanks for Morgan for all your help as well. It's always really invaluable to get advice from current students, because Morgan's in a place where you're going to be in 1, 2, 3 years time. So it's really, really useful any chance you get, not just today, but on virtual open days and any other chance you get to kind of speak to students. Ask as many questions as you can. When people come to physical open days at Cardiff, one thing they always comment on is our students, and they say how helpful they've been. And that's because we encourage our students to grab them and say, look, what do you want to know? What can I help you with? What are you thinking about? What are you worried about? And then students can help with all of those sorts of questions. So thanks to Morgan for your help as well. I'll end the meeting there. There is the final Q&A coming up in about 10 minutes time. So have a bit of a sit down, have a bit of a break, and then hopefully see you in that final session as well. But thank you for listening, and enjoy the rest of your day.